Hey, welcome. Thanks for joining me today. You would think a 30-second countdown would be enough to make sure that I'm live, but apparently it's not. Okay, looks like we're live. We are live right now. Today, November 30th, 2023. Hang on one second. Should be a tad better. I don't know. November 30th, last day of the month. 2023. My name is Tom Coffey. This is the Coffee and Nuance Show. We're at all the socials at coffeeandnuance.com. All the ones you know, and maybe some you don't even know. Right now, if you got it bookmarked, we're at rumble.com/coffeeandnuance/live. It's the easiest way to find the show live. And today, oh man, we're talking about something, yikes, a little interesting. Anyway, let's dive into this hot potato topic. It's been sizzling in the political skillet. Immigration. You know, it's one of those topics where you open your mouth and suddenly you're labeled anti-immigrant faster than you can say Taco Tuesday. I get it. The minute you mention the word immigration, you're either a heartless xenophobe or a bleeding heart liberal. There's no middle ground. It's like saying you're against camping on sidewalks. Suddenly you're labeled anti-homeless. Yeah. Because obviously wanting someone to have a roof over their head equates to being against their total existence. Can't win, can we? Look, let's clear the air here. Wanting to have a conversation about immigration isn't about slamming the door on people's faces. It's about acknowledging that there's a line between legal and illegal immigration. And folks, there's a difference. Just like there's a difference between having a backyard barbecue and setting up camp in someone else's backyard uninvited. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying we should shut down the borders, build a moat around the Statue of Liberty. No, I'm saying let's talk about it without throwing labels like confetti at a party. Let's have a rational, fact-based conversation without the pitchforks, without the torches. We as Americans have the right to discuss this without being tarred and feathered as anti-immigrant. It's not about us versus them. It's about figuring out how to maintain the integrity of our immigration system while also being compassionate human beings. You know, the whole give me your tired, your poor thing, but with a side of sensible policies. So how do we do this without getting slammed with the anti-immigrant stamp? It starts with listening to different perspectives without assuming malice. It's about finding common ground, not hurling accusations like a food fight in the cafeteria. Let's make America talk again. Let's open up a dialogue that doesn't involve throwing shade, building walls, because, folks, the real wall isn't made of bricks. It's made of misunderstandings and misplaced labels. And we can tear that wall down with a good old dose of conversation and understanding. So, here's to being able to talk about immigration without being called anti-immigrant. Cheers. My name's Tom Coffey. This is the Coffee Nuance Show, best censored commentary and news show live right now. Flame on. So we're live on Rumble, live on YouTube. Do me a favor if you're watching this. Go ahead, hit the like button. At the end of the video, if you hate it, make it a dislike. I don't care. But I would love it if I could get a little bit of interaction. And to all you lurkers out there, you're welcome as well. You don't have to post a comment, even though it would mean a whole lot to me. But you don't have to do that. That's fine too. I'm just glad you're here. So I want to talk about this immigration stuff that's going on. There's a article. Center for Immigration Studies revealed that nearly 50 million people, around 15% of the U.S. population, were born in other countries. Now, this figure surged during Biden's presidency with about 4.5 million crossing the border since he took office. Over half of this increase might be due to illegal immigration. If this trend continues, the foreign-born population could hit 59 million by the end of a potential second term for Biden. Whew. Texas Governor Abbott moved 70,000 migrants to sanctuary cities to spotlight the crisis, while New York City, having received over 146,000 immigrants, is facing strain, prompting budget cuts from Mayor Adams to manage the situation. So this is the thing. Can we even talk about this? You know, anytime you talk about this, people get so emotional, right? And if we get so emotional when we're talking about a topic, we really can't even talk about it. You know, we've just had Thanksgiving. Was there any conversation on Thanksgiving that was super emotional, that was beneficial, that added to anybody's understanding? I think you turn off that understanding somebody else thing as soon as you're inflamed, as soon as you're enraged. If you're emotional about things, you're not even listening anymore, generally speaking. Hashtag not all. But this immigration topic is one of these third rails. You know, you can't even talk about it. And I think the only way to overcome this is by asking, can we talk about this? That might be a way that you might be able to talk about this. If you just bring it up, man, I can predict the reactions to it. So if you perhaps maybe have a different point of view than someone in your family, a friend, my suggestion, if you want to talk about this, because I think this is a necessary thing to talk about, is don't talk about immigration. Talk about, this is a bit meta here, talk about, is it possible to talk about immigration without everybody losing their mind? Just see if it's possible, the topic. You say, hold on. I'm not even talking about it. I'm just saying, is it possible to talk about it? Is it even possible? That'll put the other person on the spot. They'll have to decide. They may just decide, no, it's not possible. I feel so strongly about this that it is impossible for me to have a conversation about that. And that's an important thing to know. And you know what? If they say that, and they hear themselves say that out loud, that's kind of where change happens. Often when I have found myself changing my opinion on something, it's not in the moment. It's later on when I start using somebody else's argument that was used against me. So in the moment, I don't realize that, like, oh wow, you just opened my eyes. You got to step back a bit from that. So I think that this is the way, this is a potential way to talk about it, but don't talk about it. Just say, can we talk about it? If that makes any sense. I don't know. Perhaps I'm being a bit too cagey, a bit too nuanced. I don't know. But I think if you dive headfirst into this topic without getting buy-in from other people that you're talking with, that it is actually something that you can discuss without throwing out labels and accusing each other of malintent, conversation's not going to go anywhere. So this is the first step, I believe. And in fact, you might even try, hey, is it even possible to talk about this? And they say yes, and go, okay, that's good. Oh, I don't necessarily want to talk about it today. I was just wondering if it was possible. Bring that up. Bridge that gap. Make it possible that you may be able to talk about it in the future. Don't rush this, because it's going to be really hard. This is such a sensitive topic. And I believe that this may be a strategy for talking about sensitive topics. And I just use this as an example. So anyway, give me some feedback on that. I would appreciate that. It was just an idea that I was thinking about today. And I tell you what, it's interesting how this stuff gets covered, right? So even if we look at, so the group that did this, it's a 501c, Center for Immigration Studies. But boy, you just do a simple search. You got the Southern Poverty Law Center saying it's the go-to think tank for anti-immigrant movement. don't think it's anti-immigrant. It's talking about immigration. But that's the way that it gets attacked. And in fact, when you can see who controls the media, right, you can see how the coverage is. Even on their Wikipedia page here, Center for Immigration Studies. It's an American anti-immigrant think tank. It favors far lower immigration numbers and produces analysis to further those views. Does that mean that it's anti-immigrant? I don't think so. And it goes on to discuss its funding and whatnot. But let's look how the Center for Migration Studies is covered. Are they, which would be the opposite organization. The Center for Migration Studies in New York is an educational institute and nonpartisan think tank. Oh, they're just an educational institute. They're nonpartisan. Whereas that other group, they're anti-immigrant. They're evil. They're the bad guys. We're the good guys. And this is Wikipedia that is giving this designation. So depending on your point of view, you get presented as a heel or babyface, good guy, bad guy. That doesn't seem very unbiased of Wikipedia. It's not very unbiased of the search engines. And that kind of rhetoric is not going to bridge the gap and get us to talk about things in any kind of productive way. But that's just my take. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Remember, I'm going to be going through all your comments in the after show. So I'm going to go through, I don't know, half a dozen articles today. And at the end, I'll go through all your comments on Rumble and on YouTube. So be sure to leave those there for me. I do appreciate them, and I read them all. I do. But next up, let's get to a big R.I.P. Henry Kissinger was a towering figure in U.S. diplomacy, serving as a national security advisor, Secretary of State under Nixon and Ford. His influence spanned crucial Cold War events, including the U.S. opening to China, arms control talks with the Soviet Union, and the Paris Peace Accords in Vietnam. Now, despite acclaim for his expertise, Kissinger always faced criticism for supporting anti-communist regimes and controversial actions in Latin America. Coups! His Nobel Peace Prize and his image as a diplomatic force were shadowed by accusations of war crimes. Kissinger's post-government career included consultancy, media commentary, and a role in investigations after the 9/11 attacks. His legacy is marked by both praise for diplomatic prowess and condemnation for ethical controversies. This was a very powerful figure in American politics for all of my life. And he made it to 100. So must have done something right. Must have done something right. I am not going to I think claims of typically you make a call really criticize people, especially on the day they die. I think that that's in very poor taste. So I will hold off for a week before I put any kind of names on the guy. And I'm certainly not dancing around celebrating his death. I think that kind of behavior is just atrocious. Now, but it will be interesting, and you can take this as a litmus test. Just look at your favorite commentators today and see what they're saying about this guy, And are they just celebrating his death and calling him a war criminal or something like that? Well, I think if you do something like that, at least the least you can do, if you're going to accuse someone of something, to just kind of explain where you're coming from, and not that you are just repeating a meme, not that you're just repeating what you saw on social media. Actually explain why you're stating that about someone. That's all I ask. That's not too much to ask, is it? But there was a lot of fear associated around Henry Kissinger, and rightfully so. I think I need some allergy stuff because my eyes are itching. My eyes are itching today. Anyway, speaking of fear, I got more fear for you. Respiratory illness outbreak in China has caused concern about its potential spread to Europe, particularly after a surge in pneumonia cases among children in the Netherlands. Health experts urge Europe to prepare its healthcare systems for a possible pandemic, emphasizing uncertainties about the illness's severity and origin. China attributes the illness to various viruses, but doubts exist about its true nature. Europe needs to stay vigilant, fortify medical infrastructure, stockpile supplies, and train healthcare professionals to manage potential cases as the World Health Organization, investigates the outbreak. Well, we know we can count on them for accurate reporting, and they certainly don't have any agendas, do they? No. I'm just bringing this up because a lot of times these things that turn into something big, they're not without warning. You know, they float up some test balloons beforehand. Hey, well, let's get this crazy outbreak in China. Something could happen. Boy, maybe we need to turn over authority of our local officials to, some NGOs or some international organizations. They're going to save us from bad stuff, right? That happens. And I don't know what's going to happen. I can't predict what's going to happen with this China thing, but it is eerily similar to a couple years ago. Eerily similar. I don't think that the public reaction will be the same. It's hard to pull the same thing twice. Not saying that they're pulling anything, but it's hard to pull them twice in a row. Occasionally, some people wise up. But it might be a reminder. This might be a reminder that we need to get our own immunity in the best shape that we can get it in. That's something to consider, right? We're coming into December tomorrow, coming into winter. One of the best things that you can do is to choose to do actions that will increase your immunity. And there's several of those that can be recommended. Of course, I'm not giving any medical advice whatsoever. Check with your doctor or whatever else I'm supposed to say for that. But there are some simple supplements to make sure that, it's getting dark. Make sure that you have your D3, right? Vitamin C. There's a number of vitamins that you can take for your immunity. Also, what's best for your immunity is to have better cardio health. It helps with all respiratory things. So a little cardio, especially in the winter when you're not moving around as much, also very, very advisable. And you can investigate for yourself the best ways to get your immunity up. But that's what I plan on doing. And that's what I plan on proposing to everybody that I know in my personal life. So that's my recommendation for you as well. Yeah. So here, let's do some international news. Okay. Just checking. Stream appears to be in excellent shape. That's good, because I've been experimenting with different settings, so it seems to be working. Venezuelans. Oh yeah, you remember them, right? Well, anyway, Venezuela is planning a referendum on Essequibo. It's an oil-rich territory disputed by Guyana. The International Court of Justice is reviewing Guyana's request to affirm its 1899 control of the area, challenged by Venezuela. Tensions rise amid Venezuela's domestic crisis, including food shortages and an ailing oil industry. Guyana accuses Venezuela of using the vote to distract from internal politics. It's probably never happened before. Despite objections, Venezuela intends to proceed with the referendum challenging the court's jurisdiction. So, as it turns out, there's a little swampy jungle river area on the far west side of Guyana that has a lot of oil. And Venezuela's like, you know what? I know that you've been in control of this area since 1899. But, yeah, we're going to challenge that. Maybe we want to get some of that oil. We'll see. We'll see. I think this will probably all depend on, Venezuela and having access to actually sell their stuff. Or if there are American companies in Guyana that don't want that to happen, I'm not making any predictions about the outcome of this, but I'm just bringing it up so that if something big happens in the near future, at least you'll be like, oh, I think I heard something about that. Now, as a reminder, Venezuela, I'm not even going to put up a picture. I'm just going to have you visualize South America. In the center of South America, on the very top, that's where Venezuela is. And my eye itches. Venezuela, right? Little Venice. Think of Venice, Italy. All the gondolas. People coming by boats. Venice has some people coming by boats. They have islands around there. So you can remember Venezuela is the northernmost part of South America. And just to the east of Venezuela, the little thing that I've come up with, we've got 3 little countries. One of them technically not a country, but whatever. We'll go with it. 3 little countries to the east of Venezuela. It's a little sandwich. I call the 3 amigos. Is Guy, Sir, and French Guy. Guyana, Suriname, and French Guiana. So west to east, it's Guyana. Let's see. I might do this. Yeah, okay. So it's Guyana, Suriname, French Guiana. So you got 2 guys on the outside, the Sir in the middle, the 3 amigos. It's kind of a way to remember those 3 little territories, those 3 little countries. Technically, French Guiana is part of France, but whatever. But that's a way to remember where Guyana is. It's right next to Venezuela. And yeah, we'll just have to see, what happens. I don't have any prediction at all. But I think if you look into it, you can probably make a pretty good prediction just based on the parties involved and who has access to that oil-rich area. And I suspect those with the greatest Western influence will be the victors in this case. But yeah, that's what I got on that. I got some more news. You may have heard about this. Internal documents from Google-owned YouTube showed that the Biden White House pressured the platform to censor content related to misinformation and skepticism about sticking things in yourself. Emails reveal exchanges between White House officials and Google, aiming to combat hesitancy. Former White House Digital Strategy Director Rob Flaherty led this effort, pushing Google to address borderline content and remove videos with the White House. Google sought to align its policies with the White House interests to combat misinformation, which includes discussions on topics like this and being skeptical of that, and putting things on your face and locking yourselves in your home. Was that coded enough? So we've known this. I know this firsthand. I have no doubt at all that it was the Biden team or someone associated with the Biden team that kind of put the thumb on this channel after I made a video about him years ago. So this comes as no surprise to me, but I'm glad that this information is finally getting out there, so at least that it is a confirmation that the current White House has been pressuring media companies to hide content. I don't know, but this kind of sounds like a violation of the First Amendment. And I know that they're going to try to say, no. The White House didn't get that video hidden. They just asked the social media company to hide the video, and the social media company hid the video. So technically, really? You're going to go with that argument? To me, it seems like a violation of free speech. Maybe you got a different opinion. Let me know in the comments if you do. But to me, this is why I am on more than one platform, and I'm streaming to you live on one of those right now. And that's why. That's why. Because right now, they have admitted that the current White House has pressured them to hide content. It's official. But to those people that carry water for the Democrats, they will just deny this as well, like everything else is denied. But, whatever. We got to have some good news, so let's get to the good news of the day. In 2001, Sebastião Salado, a renowned photojournalist, transformed his desolate family property in Minas Gerais, Brazil, by planting 20 million trees across 1,500 acres over 2 decades. This effort revived the barren landscape into a biodiverse forest, attracting rare animals, rejuvenating the ecosystem. He was inspired by his wife, Leila. They founded Instituto Terra to focus on environmental restoration and sustainable rural development in the threatened Atlanta forest biome within the Rio Doce Valley district of the Amazon and the Pantanal regions in Brazil. Well, this is really cool, and this shows that, one person or a couple people are able to do great things. And that's what I would like to see. I'd like to see more of that. Just, if you believe something and you can make it happen, just freaking do it, right? If you think that planting millions of trees is going to make the world a better place and is going to save us from disaster, right? Do it. I encourage it. Ask me to be a part of it. I might join. Right? We don't have to rely on big companies. We don't have to rely on governments. We don't have to rely on NGOs to save us. Here it is. This couple just decided, you know what? We're gonna get this going. And over 20 years, they did 2 million trees. Right? That's awesome. That's awesome that they did it. They didn't have to wait and rely on someone else to solve the problem. They were like, you know what? I'm going to be part of the solution. And I think that that is very admirable. I'd like to do that too. I'd like to figure out a way that I could make a big difference in the world. I don't know that yet. But I'd like to figure out something, and I would like to do something great like this couple did. I think it's very aspirational and inspirational to do this. You know, much of this country was just, when we were developing this country, we just chopped everything down, right? We just chopped down all kinds of trees. There used to be all kinds of forests that have just been mowed down when we were settling this country. That's something we can do, is to plant trees, grow them back. I would much prefer resources going into things like that than a lot of the resources that you see money being diverted to today. Wouldn't you rather have and I know it's not just this simple. You're oversimplifying it, Tom. But I would kind of prefer some tax money going to like you're planting millions of trees as opposed to making some bombs that are just going to blow some crap up in the Middle East. Just saying, right? If I had my druthers, let's plant some more trees. And, but we don't have to rely on our government to do it. We can do that ourselves. All these celebrities that have beachfront property flying around in their private jet, telling everybody else how much they care about the environment. Well, put your money where your mouth is. Keep your beachfront property. That's fine. Go out and buy tons of desolate property and see if you can get some trees growing there. Go for it. I'd encourage that. I'll overlook all the private jets. But that's just me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. That's about all I have today. But here's something interesting before I get to the after show. So I had a bunch of thumbnails today. And, these thumbnails, let's see. These thumbnails right here. And all of them I did with AI. And I did the first one. I just did I just kind of grabbed the title of the article that I was talking about. I dropped it into AI, and I got the first one. So this one right here, this was just tiki coffee mug with flaming liquid. And that's what I got. This here was couple plants, 2 million trees. This was the Biden White House, censorship, blah, blah, blah. This was Venezuela, is looking at getting this oil in Guyana. The China outbreak. R.I.P. Henry Kissinger. And this was just, give me a thumbnail about immigration. That's pretty incredible. All of these were done with AI. And like I said, I picked the first one. I didn't, just as the experiment for today, I just thought, I'm going to put it in, and I'm going to grab the first one that comes up, and that's the one I'm going to use. Turned out all right. You may not have even noticed that those were all AI-generated pictures. Pretty good. Pretty good. I'm pretty impressed with that. Anyway, that's all I have really to talk about today. Stick around for the after show. I'll go through all your comments, and I'll also tell you about my plans for this evening. Hope you all have a beautiful day. Until then, peace. Thanks for sticking around. Now, for whatever reason, over on the freer platform over there on Rumble, I don't think we have any comments right now, which is kind of, I think, it's hard for me to tell. You know, sometimes I might have loaded up the wrong window. Where do I see the comments here? Yep, no chat. How about that? Oh well. But it does look like we have more people watching on Rumble than we do on YouTube, so there we go. Anyway, let's go through all of the chat. See if I can get my... Where'd the mouse go? There we go. Okay, here we go. All right. Natasha, Yuri Ferry checking in. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Yeah. Get or make a salt inhaler good for the respiratory system. I don't know anything about a salt inhaler. Might Google that. Perhaps take vitamin D. I take vitamin D every day. It's very important to take vitamin D. One of the things that we don't know about vitamin D, or that I didn't know about vitamin D for the longest time, is not everybody takes in vitamin D from the sun. Yeah. It's a lot more difficult the darker your skin is to take in vitamin D. In fact, a lot of people, a lot of black Americans, don't even process vitamin D through their skin from the sun. So taking a supplement is the easiest thing you can do. Supplements are really cheap for vitamin D. Just go to Costco. You can get a year's worth. And the nice thing about vitamin D pills is they're very tiny. They're easy to take. They're not the big horse pills. So I'm very pro vitamin D. Why don't most boxers have sex the week before a fight? It's because they usually don't like each other. But bump. All right. So I guess we're getting some jokes in today. Thanks, N-Man. Something happened and some people put some things on their faces. Wasn't really a big deal. Tom, have you ever considered ending the YT stream and going just to Rumble for the last segment? Other channels do this. You know, that is a consideration to do. I tell you what, it's such an abundant world right now. I have so many opportunities. I have so many things that I want to do. I really just have too many. I have too many. I do want to figure out, you know, what I'm doing with the show, what I'm doing with the channel. I have lots of ideas but yeah, one of the things is I just have too many to do, but that is a consideration. And I think now that I'm streaming the way that I am, I think that might be possible. That might be possible. I hate that so many people have to cut down pecan trees in my neighborhood. It used to be a pecan orchard before they put houses here. The trees were here first. Leave them alone. I get that. There are some, obviously you know, you just don't want to see all the trees come down. You know, in my neighborhood, we've got a lot of really, really big trees. And sometimes when they get so big and you have lots of houses all around them, you know, if you've got a massive tree, 80-foot tall tree, and then we have lots of freezing rain, and then big chunks of the tree fall down. Sometimes trees fall down. It can be dangerous. You know, certain trees are dangerous to have around, are dangerous to have around people, you know, to have around houses. You know, if you've got these trees that are like 4 feet across in diameter, man, if that falls, that can kill people. So I understand the need to take down some trees, just for safety concerns. But there's no reason that more trees can't be planted, right? So, you know, let's say you have a house and you take down a pecan tree that, for whatever reason, maybe the roots are getting into your into your water line. You know, this tree's just not working out. We gotta take the tree down. It's not stopping you from planting trees elsewhere, right? I think that would be a good thing to do. Nice mug on fire. Yeah, I thought this mug on fire graphic was kind of cool. Like I said, that was just AI. I put in, you know, I think the actual prompt that I put in, it was pretty, I think it was just like tiki coffee mug with flaming liquid. I think that was all I put, and that's what it came up with. So pretty amazing stuff. Now tonight is going to be the debate between Ron DeSantis and Gavin Newsom. I believe it's going to be at 6 o'clock on the East Coast, 9 o'clock on the West Coast, I believe. I do not know if... I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a watch along for that or not. I don't know if it's going to be streamed live. And so I think, so I'll just have to see. If I am going to be live, I will post that beforehand. I will post that on Twitter, and I will obviously, you know, put up a thumbnail and schedule a stream. I just don't know if I will be able to get a stream of Fox News, if they're going to actually put that like on a channel or not, or if it's only going to be, you know, through their cable TV, because I don't have cable TV anymore. So I'll just have to see about that. I'm not sure. I wish I knew, but I don't. Anyway, but what did you think about all the AI graphics? That was pretty quick, pretty cool that they did a good job. Now, it would be interesting. I haven't learned any of this automation stuff. I know automation with like ChatGPT and stuff is doing so much. I haven't learned any automation. I don't know how to do it yet. I'm saying yet. But how cool would it be if I could just have a document with all the articles that I was going to talk about for the day, and I could just put it in there and have it give me thumbnails, or not thumbnails, whatever, these picture-in-picture, you know, these, and have it just do that for me, like automatically. That would be pretty amazing. And that would allow me, you know, a little bit more time. A little bit more time. And you may think, Tom, I don't even care about those dumb graphics. And I go, I get it. I get it. I like doing it just because I think it's funny. I like having little graphics on the screen. Because I can. Right? And I like pushing myself. So I think anybody that does this commentary stuff, I think they could have little graphics and little chyrons at the bottom. To me, it amuses me. It amuses me, and that's why I do it. Anyway, if you made it this far, do me a big favor and hit the like button. I would appreciate that greatly. Let me know that you're not a bot, John. Wouldn't let me, you know. But that would be really nice. Again, tonight, I'm probably leaning to not doing a simulcast of the Ron DeSantis, Gavin Newsom thing, and I might do a live stream at midnight, East Coast, talking about it. But I'll just have to see. I'll have to see if I can do... I just need to see how it's going to be, and I just don't know right now. So that's all I can tell you. But if I don't stream the debate live, I'll be around at midnight to talk about it. Anyway, hope you all have an awesome day. Remember, tomorrow is Friday. It is a Fact Check Friday. And I'm going to be doing that fact checking right here. So hope you can join me. Until then, have a good one. Peace.